The Women and Children of Ecuador by Elaine, Shea, and Abby Herschman.
Ecuador's capital is Quito. Ecuador is a republic with an elected president, an elected national congress, and a national court of justice.
All literate citizens between the ages of 18 and 65 are required to vote. However, women's place in politics is not always equal to that of men's, such is the case of Rosalia Ortega. Rosalia was vice president to the former president Abdallah Bucaram. When Bucaram was thrown out of office, Rosalia had to fight to become president, despite the law stating that she was next in line for the presidency if something were to happen to the president. Rosalia was president for 2 days before Congress rewrote the Constitution, taking away her presidency.
Ecuador's economy looks well for a developing country. With a GDP of $8,800, it is ranking in at 120 out of 128.
However, its economy is based solely on oil production, which is not a stable source of income or an everlasting resource. The poor indigenous Ecuadorians almost never see the money from the oil revenue.
Ecuador has a low unemployment rate of 6% and a minuscule child worker rate. Agriculture is very important in Ecuador, and usually the men of these farming families have to work a second job, leaving the women to do most of the work. Women make up the majority of factory workers, and usually they have to go home after work and take care of their families. According to many reports, women workers in Ecuador usually suffer sexual harassment every day. While these women are at work, many of their children go to school.
School is mandatory for all kids ages 5 through 18, but only 77% of children are still in school after the age of 11. Drug use and the selling of those drugs in schools have become such a problem that police are routinely making arrests in school. These drugs are also killing many of the Ecuadorian children.
Ecuador has an average life expectancy of 75 years of age, which to a first world country can sound considerably low. Dysentery, caused by unsanitary conditions and malnutrition, is one of the major killers of Ecuador's low-income families. Women in particular, who have to work shifts and then turn around and do household chores, have more stress, which in turn leads to poor health. Healthcare is hard to come by in Ecuador because there are only hospitals in the major cities like Quito.
Socially, a woman's role is very stereotypical. She raises a family, and the men are not always required to assist in raising his kids. Girls marry and have children at younger ages than boys. They are usually only teenagers when they get married.
The United Nations is attempting to change the way things are in Ecuador. CEDAW, the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, is requiring that Ecuador spends all of its income equally on men, women, boys, and girls.
The Safe Cities program is working with Ecuador to make its capital, Quito, violence-free. The status of women and children is far from ideal in Ecuador, but the United Nations, CEDAW, and the government are working to fix the problem.
Thank you for your time.